Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Michael Krauser, and I'm here to share my favorite tech tools that you can use for tomorrow. The first tech tool I want to share with you has been a real game changer for myself and my classrooms. And its name is Quizizz. It's a game-based application where students with a game code will log on to the app or the website and answer questions that you've already inputted for them. But first, let's actually talk about what Quizizz is actually good for. Why should you even use it in your classroom? Well, there's three main reasons that I see. Number one, for formative assessment. It is a great tool of gathering data and formatively assessing your students throughout a unit, at the end of a unit, the beginning of the unit. Whatever you want, you can use Quizizz for. Secondly, it's great for a review. Almost every time before a test, midterm, or final, I am using Quizizz for my students, for my class, so that they can review the material. And lastly, the third reason is it's another avenue of game-based learning. We all love game-based learning. We all use it in our classrooms, but it's important to have more than one go-to website and go-to game so that students feel that there's a variety and aren't bored. Now, we know that Quizizz can be extremely helpful for all of those reasons that I mentioned, but every teacher wants to know, how is it actually used? Is it something that I can actually implement in my classroom? Is it difficult to use, easy to use? What is it like? Well, ultimately, it's extremely simple and it's much like Kahoot. A game code is generated from the website, from your session, and students log on with that game code. Questions appear on their device or on their computer, and points are awarded for how quickly they get them right and how accurate they are. At the end of the game, a review is actually given, unlike Kahoot for the most part, and they're able to individually look at their answers. Now, the good thing about this is that students can't really cheat off of one another like they can with Kahoot, because everything is individualized. Everything is individual to their actual device. Questions appear in random order, answers appear in random order, so there's really no way for students to cheat, which gives you extremely valuable data. And speaking of data, that's probably my favorite feature of Quizizz. Yes, it's fun for the kids. Yes, it's fun for me even, but more so than that, it's effective for me engaging how my students are actually doing. I am able to gather data right away, right while they're answering questions and when they're done, as to what they got right and what they got wrong. Plus, I'm able to download that data, email it to them if they haven't already received it themselves, email it to parents, publish it on a parent portal or whatever system you happen to be using, and I'm able to actually see that happening in real time so that if need be, I can go back and discuss questions with my class. Many people swear by Kahoot, but I firmly believe that Quizizz can be used more effectively. And I mainly believe this because I value the data that Quizizz gives more so than Kahoot. For the most part, whenever I play a Kahoot, I might download some of the data, but it looks messy. It's not easy to look at. But with Quizizz, everything can be individualized to a student. I can see it on the actual website, or I can print out a page that tells me the percentage. It breaks down every question that they answered right and wrong, and I'm able to review that with their parents and students alike. So it gives me invaluable data. And for the most part, my kids have absolutely loved playing it because it's on their actual phones and devices. They give each other little avatars that move throughout the game like a race, different than Kahoot. And they're able to do things on their own time. In addition, it provides them with an individual review of every question they got right and wrong so that they can see what they're doing in real time. Every time they get a question wrong, it gives them the correct answer. And at the end of all of it, it gives them a list of all the questions and gives them the correct answers so that they can review. And they could even download that and print it out if they'd want to. In addition, one of the best features of this is, unlike Kahoot, I can actually assign homework based on Quizizz. Quizizz has a feature where I can share a specific link that's intended to be their homework, where they're supposed to play the game within a certain time frame. So for instance, it's February 27th, 2017 right now. I could send my kids a Quizizz link asking them to complete it by February 28th, 5 p.m. At that time, it closes and they no longer have the opportunity to do it. This has been great for me for midterms and for tests because when I know something's coming up, I give them a week or two in advance to be able to use this, and I can actually see how many times have they actually played. How have their answers progressed? How has their percentage of right and wrong actually gone up? And that's also data that I can keep, that I can share with parents and themselves to see how they're actually progressing and to make sure that they're actually studying. So my students have actually loved it because it's competitive, it's game-based, it's individualized, and it's also fun. Quizizz is a very easy format, makes it nice and simple for them. Plus, there's these cool little avatars that they can use, and it's all around just a great program, and I highly, highly recommend it for every teacher to use, especially if you use Kahoot. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you an actual demo of how a student can log on to the game and play. So go ahead and follow along in the video and watch the steps that I take. All right. So first off, we're going to go to join.quizizz.com. All right. That's the simplest way of getting there. If you go to quizizz.com or your students go there, they can still get on, but join.quizizz.com brings you straight to where they can enter the code. All right. So I already have a 6-digit code, so I'm just going to copy and paste that, but you can write it on the board, you could project it, whatever you want. They enter the 6-digit code here, hit proceed, and then they're able to choose a name. Now, this is where you have to be cautious because some students are going to pick silly names like Booger Pants or something like that, and then it's very difficult for you to know who they are, and thus the data is no longer valuable to you. So I always tell them nicknames are fine as long as they put their name somewhere in it. So if they do Booger Pants, then next to it they would need their initials or their name of some kind. Okay, so that's usually what I tell my students. That way I know, and that way I'm not cutting in on their fun. All right, this is supposed to be fun. So you go ahead and you join the game. It's going to find a cool avatar for you. Students normally like seeing that. So I got this water squid thing with coconut looking eyes, very weird, and I am Booger Pants MK. All right. Now, the reason why it says waiting for game to be started is because the teacher actually has to go and start the game. So that's you. You would wait until everybody's logged in, and then you would go ahead and hit start for the game. All right. And then the game would actually begin. So it's going to go ahead and start. The countdown's going to begin. There's music on it as well, but you can turn that off. You can see that there's a timer up there. I think it's about 30 seconds or so, but they get rewarded based on it. So questions show up like this. It's also very mobile friendly for iPads, phones, whatever. Works very, very well. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick random stuff at times. Now, a great part of this is the memes. You can make your own memes in this game that really engage the kids. I even have my own kids make their own memes that I can add, or you can do custom made ones that are already there for you from the game. All right, so notice 0 points, a meme comes up, Grumpy Cat saying no, and then it tells me what the correct answer is Calvinism. So it's real-time feedback. Now, meanwhile, a teacher is actually seeing which questions these kids are getting right and wrong. Every single one. And a teacher can click on an individual student and see that as well. So again, it's extremely, extremely, extremely helpful in knowing all of this. It really, really is. All right. So it goes through the entire game much like this. And then at the very end of the game, you are going to see that there's a review of questions that you can actually look at. All right. And that ends up being extremely valuable to you and to the students because they can use that as a review. A lot of times I don't even give out study guides anymore because I use Quizizz. Their study guide is essentially on Quizizz, and it makes it easier for me, makes it easier for them. So it's extremely helpful. So just remember to use some of the great features that Quizizz allows you to have. It allows you to export the data. It allows you to print the data. It allows you to create your own memes. Be creative with it. Pick out cool pictures. You can upload your own custom-made ones, or you can use the preset ones that Quizizz already has. A lot of times I do that. A lot of times I have my kids use it. Again, my students have absolutely loved it. They love doing it for homework. They love reviewing in class this way. And it's a great way to also hand out prizes. So leave a comment if you enjoyed the video and let me know how you're using Quizizz. Until next time, this is Mike Krauser with Tech Tools for Tomorrow.